Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for February the 29th, 2024. That's right, February the 29th. It is a leap year. This is Season 3, Episode 46. Who is the target? That's a big question. I should have put a question mark behind there. I forgot about that. Sorry, guys. Who is the target now? Fleury wants to stay put. Tanev just got dealt to Dallas. Guentzel's hurt. Who is the target? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on the What Now segment. We're also going to recap the Oilers and Blues, which was a shaky start, but a great finish. And I got a contentious question for all you guys out there. Wayne or Connor? Now, this is going to be an interesting debate, I think. It's also up on my YouTube community page. There's a vote, and we're going to get into that. So wait until I get into it before you vote. But I just want to let you guys digest what I have to say before you guys vote. Plus, we're going to preview, the Oilers and Kraken and the Oilers and Penguins in a back-to-back situation Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday afternoon and then Sunday evening. So it should be interesting. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the discussion tonight. As it was quite an interesting game last night with the Oilers and Blues, and to be honest with you, within the first 5 minutes, I was just livid. When Stuart Skinner let in those first two goals on 3 shots, I'm like, really? Like, seriously? But I'll tell you what. He held the fort. He held the fort all night long after that, to the point that I actually have him as a star, one of the stars for that game. And let's get into that. Okay, so as far as the scoring summary goes, again, it was 2 quick goals by St. Louis, and I'm thinking, wow, 2 goals on 3 shots. It's one of those things you don't want to see as a fan. Robert Thomas getting his 20th on the power play. 1-0 St. Louis. Pavel Buchnevich at 4:49 of the first period getting his 24th. 2-0 St. Louis. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not really a Skinner thing of what was happening. They were really attacking the Oilers, really pressing and really pushing, but they seemed to run out of gas. I think they were on a bit of a back-to-back as the game progressed on. Zach Hyman would get within 1, getting a power play goal, his 39th of the year, from Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It's 2-1 after the first period. We go into the second period. Zach Hyman gets his 40th of the year. It does help when you have a guy named Connor McDavid feeding you the plays, as he would get his 72nd assist and Evan Bouchard his 42nd. It is now 2-2 going into the third period where no goals were scored. And then Connor McDavid, just absolutely amazing, gets his 22nd of the year. Everyone was complaining about, oh, Connor's not scoring. Well, you know what? He scored a pretty big one tonight, or last night, from Matthias Ekholm and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The Oilers would win this one in overtime, get the 2 points. St. Louis is kind of starting to slip out of the playoff picture now. And when I get into final thoughts, I'll show you the new updated look of who the playoff pairings would be, and it's changing. It's forever changing, but there has been another change on this episode. So yeah, it was a pretty impressive game. Let's get into all the stats here. As as far as shots on goal, it was very, very tight. 35-34. The Oilers slightly edge out the Blues. When it came to hits on the opponent, the Oilers were out hitting the Blues 35-28. Not really a crazy differential, but I mean, that's pretty substantial. When it came to face-off win percentage, the Oilers were 52.5 on the dot. As far as the power play goals, power play went, 1 for 2, 50%. I'm okay with that. The penalty kill, 2 for 3. Again, 66%. I'm okay with that too. There's one stat coming up here that I'm not okay with though. And this is the stat. Block shots. 24-8 for the Blues. Like that's where I really wish that we would have pushed to get a Tanev. Hopefully we get, well, we'll get into that on the what's next part, but yeah, like 24-8 for block shots is a huge difference. And the Oilers seem to always be losing at this stat. This is an area that needs addressing going into the playoffs. Takeaways, the Oilers edged out the Blues 13-12. When it came to giveaways, they both had 12 giveaways. And then when it comes to the stars, and you can barely see there, but I got the third star as Zach Hyman. Despite the game that he had, getting his 39th and 40th, ESPN has him as the first star. I'm going to put him as the third star, just because I was very impressed with Stuart Skinner. I had to give him the second star with a 941 save percentage, 34 saves. What was very shaky at the beginning turned out to be an excellent game for him. And again, he's back in my top players for the game. And then, of course, I'm going to give this one to Connor McDavid because he was in on every goal scored in this game. You have to give that to some kind of credit. He had 1 goal, 2 assists, and he also led the team with who else? With Kulak for hits at 4. So great effort. Can't complain. I'm again, Stuart Skinner started off very rough. And it was one of those nights I was just like, oh, like it was starting to drive me nuts, the fact that he allowed 2 goals on 3 shots. But after that, his positioning, the way he played, his aggression, everything seemed to click. He almost looked Grand Furious, like I don't know how to explain it, but he was very aggressive, very attackful, if that's a word. Well, it's probably not a word, but he was just attacking the players as they were coming at him, and I loved it. I loved the way he played, and I had to give him a star. So up next is the Seattle Kraken. This is a 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time start time at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, and then I believe they'll fly back to Edmonton to play the Penguins on Sunday. So it's going to be an interesting weekend for the Edmonton Oilers as they go forward. All right, guys. The big question is, we just saw Tanev get dealt to the Dallas Stars, and I really was hoping the Oilers would push. I got my good buddy Sammy that was hoping that Vancouver would make the push, but no, he is leaving to Dallas. It's unfortunate because the guy is a shot blocker master. He's kind of comparable to Chris Russell when we had him. Chris Russell was always blocking shots, always putting his body on the line. So the question is, what now? Guentzel is hurt. Fleury is deciding to stay put. And Tanev got traded to Dallas. So some of the some of the options that are out there, ranked 20th is David Savard of the Montreal Canadiens. He's another shot blocker. I want the Oilers to get a good stay-at-home defenseman or a goalie. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. But it just seems like everyone is leaning towards getting another top six forward like Jordan Eberle and all that. I don't know if that's necessarily the answer. I would rather have a little bit better defending. We got the offense. The offense has always been there. You know, it's just the defense has always been the thing that struggled. So I would like to see maybe a David Savard come into the mix. Who else is available here? Sean Walker's available. I don't know. I don't know where the Oilers are going to go. I would like to see Marc Andre Fleury, but I just heard a comment on Twitter that he's going to stay put in Minnesota, so it doesn't look like him. Is Jacob Chikrin possibly an option? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 8 to 9 days, but I'm hoping the Oilers can do something to improve. It's just right now, it's I don't know. The players that I wanted to come to this team already are like Guentzel's hurt, Fleury is staying put, and Tanev got dealt to Dallas. I think I would have liked to see the Oilers made a more of a push on Tanev. I think they could have won out on him, but they didn't. I know Holland has his theory that he's not going to give up first. I don't think a first was given up in that deal to Dallas either, but it's one of those things. So we're going to find out. Next Friday is the trade deadline day, March 8th, I believe it is. And we're going to find out who the Edmonton Oilers will take on going forward. All right. Okay. This is going to cause up a bit of a storm. I'm going to ask this question. Who is a better hockey player? Okay. Hockey player. Not, let's put accolades aside. Let's put all that stuff aside. Who is a better hockey player? This is a tough one. And this one I don't think has an actual answer to it. But I was actually asked this the other day by one of my coworkers, and it really stumped me. Who is a better player, Connor McDavid or Wayne Gretzky? If I took Wayne Gretzky from back in the day of what I witnessed from him, and what I witnessed from him was lights out amazing. But then I really struggle with that question when I think of Connor McDavid and how he backchecks, how he hits. I think he's even had a few scraps. Like last night's game, he was tied for hitting with Brett Kulak. He had 4 hits. Brett Kulak had 4 hits. Like he is, in my opinion, a better player than Wayne Gretzky. And I know that sounds crazy for me to say. I can't even believe I'm saying it. But I'm talking about all-round player. Yes, Gretzky's got the Stanley Cups. Yes, Gretzky's got the goal lead in the NHL and that. And it was a different era. There's no question. But when you ask that question, a different era. Okay, back then, when Gretzky played, I hate to say it, the defensemen were not as elite as they are today, right? Those guys were eating a lot of pasta. They were carving out. I just heard today from one of my guys, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Connor Bedard has never had fast food in his entire life. That's the kind of mindset that the players are going through now. So, but I'm not putting, I don't want to go with mindsets and all that. I just want to know who you guys think is a better hockey player. Accolades aside, all the statistics aside, all the Hart trophies and all that, put that all aside. Who is a more well-rounded hockey player? And I'm leaning towards Connor, man. I really am. Anyway, I do have a vote up on my community page on YouTube, so I'd like to hear what you guys say. last I checked, there was 3 votes. It was 2 for Wayne and 1 for Connor. So I'd like to see a little bit more and try to get a little bit of a clarity to this, because this is a tough one. It would be really good for you guys to chime in on this, and hopefully you guys are chiming in at the end here with some questions, and I can or comments, and I can address them. But yeah, that's a tough one. That is really a tough one. Okay. Up next, we got 2 games coming up. We got the Oilers and the Kraken on Saturday, and the Penguins on Sunday. So I'm going to do a basically a preview of each one and go through all the stats of each one of those ones. Let's dive into that. Let's get into the Oilers and Kraken game that is going to take place on Saturday. It's a pretty early game. It's going to be 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time for you guys to watch. Going into this game, let's see, what kind of stats do the Kraken have been struggling this year a little bit. One of the stats that they are actually good at is their penalty minutes. They are kind of stingy of getting into the penalty. They are 7th in the league with 8.1. Other than that, they're kind of mid to late. Next best stat I can pull up here is, looks like their shots on goal allowed. They're 13th in the league, averaging 29.9. In the last 10 games, the Seattle Kraken have a 5-4-1 record. Meanwhile, the Oilers have the exact same thing. Oilers are on a 2-game winning streak. The Kraken have a 1-game winning streak going. Home and away records. Well, the Oilers have a 16-12-0 record away. Meanwhile, the Kraken are 13-10-5. When it comes to the potential goaltenders, now this is the score, so I don't know exactly who's going to play. We know that Skinner and Picard are going to play this weekend. Who are they going to line up? They got Skinner lining up against the Kraken. His record, 27-13-2, 268 goals against average, 904 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Joey Decord for the Seattle Kraken is 16-12-10, 245 goals against average, 919 save percentage, and 2 shutouts as well. So it could be interesting. The last time they did play, the Oilers did defeat them on January 18th by a count of 4-2. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if vengeance is going to be made from the Seattle Kraken. Could be a very interesting game. Yeah, I should have pulled up this slide here, guys. I forgot to pull it up for you guys. I was reading it off my screen and not paying attention. But there's the full statistical view of what the Kraken will bring you. It's close. Seattle's not playing the way they were playing last year, and they may be dumping off players. And Jordan Eberle has been in the conversation of joining the Oilers as well. So we'll see what happens. Then they take on the Penguins on Sunday. And I'm going to pull up the slide for you guys this time so you can follow along. With the Pittsburgh Penguins, this is another team that surprisingly it had high expectations. They picked up Carlson and all that kind of stuff, but they're a team that is really struggling. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I actually don't think they are going to make the playoffs. One of the good stats that they have is they are 5th in the league for shots on goal. But shots on goal really don't amount to nothing unless they go in. The shooting percentage, they are a 9.1. Okay, so that puts them 27th in the league. So all those shots on goal don't mean shit. Sorry, but they don't mean nothing unless you get, you get some goals to go in for you. It's a team, yeah, like I said, it's a team that's struggling. It's an aging team, let's be honest, okay? Letang, Crosby, Malkin, they're in the twilights of their career, and it's unfortunate, but A few of the stats that they do exceed at is they are second in the league for penalty minutes, so they're very disciplined, 7.3 minutes per game. Eighth in the league on penalty kill at 82.1%. So that's a pretty good stat. So they're pretty decent there. But other than that, fifth in the league for shots. I already mentioned that. Yeah, other than that, they're a team that I can't see them making the playoffs. Their current record is 27, 21, and 8. Their away record is 12, 11, and 4, so just slightly above 500. Last 10, they have a 5, 4, and 1 record. However, they are on a 3-game winning streak, so they're feeling it right now. So that could be a good thing. As far as the goaltenders go for this game, Alex Nedeljkovic, I'm probably pronouncing it brutally, but he has a record of 9, 4, and 4, 267 goals against average, 915 save percentage, 1 shutout. And they have Calvin Pickard listed here at a record of 7, 3, and 0, 253 goals against average, and a 905 save percentage with 1 shutout. Last time they met, the Oilers absolutely crushed them. February 23rd, 2023, by a score of 7-2. Yeah, we'll see. This is always nice to see the Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby matchup. This is always the one game that, if you guys are going to the game, it's good for you guys because there's only going to be a few more matches in Edmonton with these two players. And again, it should be a good one. Okay, guys, I think we're going to go into final thoughts here and address your comments if there is any. And if so, I will try to talk. And there isn't no comments so far. So again, I would like to see you guys address the whole McDavid versus Gretzky. I mean, God, it would be nice to see some kind of video simulation of who would actually win. McDavid in his prime, Gretzky in his prime. Who would win being on a team with nothing but a bunch of duds and just see who is actually the better guy. It'd be cool to see that. But other than that, I think this is a wrap for this episode. So, if you're witnessing this for the very first time and like the content that I bring, I urge you, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It would be awesome. It would be helping me out. And I would like to get more equipment and make this channel more better. Other than that, I think that's about all I have. Thank you for the subscribers that have recently joined, and to those that have been with me through thick and thin. Again, I give you huge props. We will talk. The next time is going to be on Sunday, where I'll recap both games. Or actually, sorry, Monday. It'll be Monday that I do the next episode. I will recap the Seattle Kraken game. I will recap the Penguins game. And then I am also doing an episode, hopefully, I still got to talk to Sammy, but NHL Aftermath on Saturday. Join us for that. We would definitely want to hear your comments on, we're probably going to talk about Tanev going to Dallas and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we will discuss. But other than that, guys, I think I'm done for tonight. Thank you for joining in, and we will talk to you guys soon.